Good morning. It is Monday, May 22nd. Cara Robinson alongside a three-time PGA Tour winner in Chris DiMarco. And did we not witness some incredible golf yesterday? We're going to get into all of that. Plus, we have live coverage on a Monday with the final day of stroke play from the NCAA Division I Women's Championships on Golf Channel this afternoon. Chris, it's always cool when you can watch golf at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, it was fun. Today's going to be fun, too. I love that kind of format. But yesterday's golf was very exciting. I was sitting on the couch. I haven't sat on the couch on a Sunday and watched golf for 2 or 3 hours in a long time, and it was worth watching all of it.
And your good friend came through, Billy Horschel.
Yes.
Congratulations to him. We're going to get on to exactly what he did do yesterday. But first of all, let's say good morning to Lauren Thompson.
Collegiate golf this week. Also more fun with the pros. Check this out on social media. One of the coolest things the rest of us avid amateurs think would be neat about their schedules is checking out the sights, sounds, and also the tastes of their different tour stops. This from John Rahm, a PGA Tour winner himself, about to make his debut in the Dean and DeLuca Invitational, getting things started in Fort Worth at Dutch's Burgers. Now, this is the Vaquero Burger, the Cowboy Burger, loosely translated. Great choice. He's got a couple of those on the table, Cara, but there's also a salad, so he's getting some veggies in the mix.
I love it. Best burger in town. Hey, it's his rookie year on the PGA Tour. He's experiencing all of the best food around the country for the first time. What was your favorite, I suppose, food stop on tour?
Hands down, New Orleans. And you can't go wrong anywhere there. There's a restaurant there that I go to, Mr. Joe Impastada's in Metairie, and just went there last week, and it is unbelievable. It's Italian with a Cajun spice to it.
Nice.
It's so good.
You like a bit of Creole?
Oh, yeah. Creole, gumbo, crawfish, everything.
Charbroiled oysters?
Oh, yeah. The best.
See, look at me.
Everything.
I'm like a local. I tried it all recently.
Like that. Nice.
All right, let's get to what is happening now. And Lexi Thompson tapped in a 3-foot par putt on the 72nd hole of the Kingsmill Championship yesterday to capture her 8th career win on the LPGA Tour. The 22-year-old produced 3 rounds of 65 and a Saturday 69 to get to 20 under par total and break the nearly 10-year-old tournament record set by Annika Sorenstam in 2008 with her victory at 19 under par. The win comes 7 weeks after she had to endure a 4-shot penalty down the stretch of the ANA Inspiration thanks to a TV viewer contacting LPGA officials about a rules violation from the day before. The now world number 4 admitted that yesterday's wire-to-wire win meant even more in the wake of her heartbreak from the season's first major. Well, asked how she will celebrate this win, the American said she'll probably be out practicing today, working on her game to improve even more. Incredible. Is it possible, Chris, that the experience at ANA will actually make her a better and more determined player ultimately?
I think what it can do is it can kind of light a fire underneath you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think she knows she could have won that tournament, should have won that golf tournament. 4-shot penalty, and she still, barely lost. So I think that for Lexi, this club that we're seeing right here, when this club is working, I'll tell you what, she is hard to beat. And, to have the lead going into the last round with what happened at ANA and go out and shoot the low round of the day out of everybody in the whole field of 65 is pretty impressive. And you just kind of lap the field. I think it was big for her. I think it was good for her to now that just puts everything behind her. Now she can look forward.
She almost needed this to move on.
Yeah.
And she hasn't really held back or shied away from the spotlight in one sense since everything. She flew into this event on Wednesday, literally via a skydive with a Navy SEAL, announcing her new partnership with them. This is unbelievable. She literally lands and walks straight to the first tee and tees up in the Pro-Am.
How do you hit the tee ball? Your adrenaline's got to be. I mean, she's already one of the longest players on tour. She might have drove the green on the first hole with that much adrenaline. That seems like it'd be pretty fun.
She had the landing down, though. She knew to keep those knees up, didn't want any injuries coming in. And I have to give a shout out to Jerry Fultz. I loved his line in his interview with her. Hey, you're 1 for 1 in tournaments that you've skydived into. It's a pretty good record.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows if that'll happen again, but congratulations to Lexi Thompson. Let's transition now to the PGA Tour, where Billy Horschel birdied 2 of his final 5 holes in regulation to shoot a final round 69 at the AT&T Byron Nelson and force a playoff with Jason Day at 12 under par. After the former world number 1 3-putted for bogey at the first extra hole, the American was assured of his 4th career tour win and his first since 2014. It couldn't have come at a better time, Chris. Billy actually entered the week on the heels of 4 consecutive missed cuts, the most since his rookie year in 2011. I know you're very close to him. You've watched him really grown up in professional golf. What was your reaction to seeing him succeed again?
I was extremely impressed with his demeanor out there. He slowed himself down. He made that birdie on on 16, and he took some time walking to the 17th tee. Didn't hit a great shot on 17, but was able to hit just an unbelievable chip on 17, up and over that ridge to just a couple feet. Battling the number 3 player in the world, Jason Day. I mean, obviously everybody thinks that should happen, but we're talking about a guy who won the FedEx Cup, 3 years ago, 2014. So he knows what it's like to win a big tournament when it matters. I was really impressed with his putting this week. He was number 1 putting in strokes gained putting at plus 2.096, which is pretty special out there, considering he was 113th with -1 for about the year. So, he's a great ball striker, and he, to me, down the stretch, didn't hit it like Billy Horschel does with his irons. Driver, he's one of the best drivers of the golf ball. He just hits that nice, hard, little 5-yard draw every time. But it was an impressive win, considering it didn't look like he had everything going in his game. He was able to win with his B game, so to speak. I know there's his ball striking, his iron play is so much stronger than that, especially coming down the stretch a little bit.
Of course, you said to Jason that wasn't really the way I wanted to win. You don't want to see anyone miss a 4-foot putt, but it was nice to see him really turn around his recent playoff record, because you might recall he was part of that 6-man playoff at the RSM Classic at the very beginning of the season, which was in 2016. He was the first man to fall short there. Damon Hack made a very good point on Morning Drive yesterday. We spoke to him out at the Byron Nelson. He said he felt that Billy Horschel actually had the most at stake out of the 3 guys in the final group yesterday, simply because of how close he has come to playing in team events before, but not yet been a part of Team USA. This would have done a lot for his points in the President's Cup standings, and you would think he is a guy as suited to team golf as anyone.
Oh my gosh, we've been waiting for him to be on that team for a while. We actually created a rule because of what happened to him and Chris Kirk in that year, the 2014. So he is exactly what it needs. He's a passionate, emotional player that, a lot like Patrick Reed, can get on the nerves a little bit maybe of the other team, which is exactly what you want, but do it with your play and your passion. And I would love to see Billy on that team. I think he'd be a great addition, and I think everybody would love to play with him, because he's an unbelievable ball striker. On top of being a great golfer, he can kind of put a little ribbing into those guys on the other team.
And a great guy, plays with a lot of emotion, wears his heart on his sleeve. Wonderful to see Billy Horschel back in the winner's circle. So congratulations to him. And let's now get some more on these 2 winners as we say good morning to our Golf Channel Academy lead coach, and welcome in Travis Fulton.
Yeah, Cara, good morning. And a lot of ways to get it done out there on tour. Billy Horschel, of course, on the PGA Tour, and Lexi Thompson getting that win there on the LPGA Tour. We're going to have some fun here. We're going to look at these 2, their driver swings, how they go about it. Some similarities, but some major differences as well. When I look at Lexi Thompson, I see a player that's really built just on raw speed, trying to keep it up with her older brothers when she was younger, trying to hit it as hard as she can. Billy Horschel, sneaky long. He has power, but there's some accuracy components, some position work that I know that he works on as well. So let's take a look here, and you can see at address, a lot of similarities here. The one thing that I would point out is you can see there with Billy is make sure that you don't get too far from it. The hands, adequate distance from the body. Now here we go. Lexi takes it to the top here. Big shoulder turn, big wind up, club pass parallel. She lets the right elbow retract away from her body. And you're going to see a difference here as we take Billy to the top of the swing. He too makes an aggressive wind up here, shoulder and hips. He tries to point the club a little bit more left at the top, a little more laid off per se. But look at the right elbow, very different right elbow. It's more pinched in towards the body, where Lexi, it's more retracted out away from the body, and that's probably the biggest difference at the top that we see in these 2. Now the similarities maintain here. Watch this coming down. These swings are very rotational swings, not a lot of lateral. Look at this right foot here. That right foot is coming up to the toe. She's going up to the toe quickly, which tells me that left hip is really starting to rotate out of the way early. Now watch Billy here. You're going to see very much the same thing. That right foot's going to come up early. That's telling me again that left hip is starting to rotate. It's not moving lateral. It's starting to rotate pretty quickly on the downswing. So a lot of similarities here in the delivery. Now, here's where the differences really start to come in. Lexi, raw power. Watch this. As she comes into impact here, she is going to push up off the ground and sacrifice some spine angle. Look at this. Both legs, left leg and right leg, fully extended up off the ground. We go to Billy here. Watch this. He's going to stay a little bit more plugged in here. Really good stuff here. As Chris said, Billy's a very, very good ball striker. One of the reasons, look at that left hip, rotate out of the way and stay back in spine angle. So very different here. Lexi really just going, unleashing it, Again, Billy, good speed, staying a little bit more plugged in, probably from an accuracy standpoint. And as we continue Lexi on here, because she's standing up, the club's going to exit higher. And look at here, she kind of rotates out of her spine angle all the way, kind of almost like she's trying to save it into this finished position. But again, just hitting it as hard as she can. Watch Billy here, a little more of a left exit as he stays plugged in and stays in his spine angle a little bit longer. So a lot of ways to get it done. Lexi, again, just all speed. Billy, good speed, a little more position work. I'd take both of them. Very happy to see Billy win, but really happy, Cara, to see Lexi get in the winner's circle. Back to you.
Such an interesting comparison, Travis. Thank you. Let's get back to what is happening now. And it may not surprise you to hear that Bernhard Langer won again on the PGA Tour Champions, but it was extra special this time. The World Golf Hall of Famer shot a final round 64 to overcome a 2-shot deficit and win his second straight Regions tradition. Notably, though, it was Langer's 8th major championship on the PGA Tour Champions, tying him with Jack Nicklaus for the most all time. Now, he might be chasing Hale Irwin's record of 45 total senior titles, but he has now at least beat him in the major category. And any time that you can match a record of Jack Nicklaus's, it's got to be pretty special. We're aware of Bernhard Langer's talent, but this is one to be proud of, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, two times they've played Greystone Golf and Country Club now. He hasn't shot out of the 60s yet. Is averaging 67.38 around that place. 2 wins in a row. He's 64 in the final round, low round of the day, low round of the week, I'm pretty sure, to go out and win by 5. I mean, the guy just, he's like the Energizer Bunny. At 59 years old, he just still, he outworks everybody. And, you know, his putting is amazing and his ball striking, and he just is relentless. You just know when he's there, he's just going to keep going. He's going to keep putting the pressure on. You know, it was a great match up until about number 12. Fred had that unfortunate triple bogey, and he made a birdie. And it, you know, you put him in front, and he knows how to bring it home. You
mentioned his age. He's 59 years old. He's now got 31 wins total on the PGA Tour Champions. The elusive number that we've always spoken about is Hale Irwin's 45, and we've always thought, you know, times are a bit different now. Will Bernhard really be able to get to that number? It's quite a stretch. I mean, I think it's hard to bet against him doing that now, is it not?
Well, it is, because, you know, he kind of is putting a stop on that you know, old age clock, so to speak, and because he's so healthy and he's so fit that he's able to probably play into his, you know, mid 60s and probably still be very competitive. So you're talking 14 wins. He averages like 5 or 6 a year. So you're only talking three more years and he can get past it. I wouldn't put it past him. I really wouldn't. I think that he is so motivated. Still, he loves the game so much, and obviously, everybody knows that when he's on, he just wins, and he is very impressive. Something that I look at as motivation for me when I turn 50 years old.
I was going to say, you better hope he's not still playing by the time you get out there.
It's only a year and a half, so I'm sure he'll be out there.
We'll be watching. All right, well, despite the anchoring ban coming in January 2016, Bernhard Langer does still choose to play with the long putter. So for more on how his technique has evolved, let's send it back down to Travis.
Yeah, Cara, consider this. In 2016, since the anchor ban from the USGA, this guy right here, well, he moved it away from the sternum, couldn't anchor it anymore, moved it about that far away. And since that time, 6 wins on the PGA Tour Champions and 3 more major titles. Just amazing. Worked with Eric Kaplan, got to catch up with Eric last night. And there's a few things that they do that's really helped him make this transition. I want to share a few of those with you and perhaps can help your putting, or maybe even as you consider going to the long putter. Now, the first thing here, and Eric likes to talk about, is kind of locking some things out that really promotes the right engagement or body movement. I'm going to bring this line in here, and this is really the first kind of angle that you want to lock out. It's the right wrist. Or notice the right wrist, how it's kind of unhinged downward. You want to take that angle out when you're putting. You don't want the wrists to be this way where they're supple and hinged. You want them to be unhinged like this. And of course, when you go to the long putter, you can't do it the wrong way. You have to be unhinged this way, kind of bows out like that. And that's really key to take some of the wrists out. So that's number one. The second thing here, and one of the angles that Bernhard really had to work on with Eric, is getting more hip hinge, getting the belt buckle turned down. We talk about posture a lot in the full swing, but even in putting, you want the hips to hinge this way. Bernhard would have a tendency for the belt buckle to be too level like this, and you'll notice here that the hips are more hinged on an angle like that. So that's good posture, and it really sets up now kind of this third, and I'm going to bring this line in here with an arrow. I'm going to point it right in between the scaps, because one of the things that Bernhard will do is once he hip hinges like this, is then he'll take the scaps and he'll pinch them like this, kind of retract the scaps a bit. I can feel that little pinch, and that really now is going to encourage the proper movement of the shoulders back and through. So good posture leads to a little retraction in the scaps, and you can use that now as the center point as he engaged the shoulders here. So watch this here now. We're going to take it back. The feeling here for Bernhard is that right shoulder just kind of peels away and towards the spine. It's not going up. When I pinch the scaps there, my right shoulder can kind of work towards my spine more this way and less up and down this way. And you can see still in the spine angle there. Now as he comes through, it's just the opposite. Watch this. The left shoulder now is going to peel away. Again, still in his posture here. That center point very much the same. So the long putter makes it a little bit easier for Bernhard to do these things. Unhinge the wrist, get his hip hinge here, the longer putter. He doesn't have to get down there so much. And then from there, a little retraction, a little pinch there in the scaps. And then from there, he can use his shoulders more this way and less up and down. And obviously working extremely well from him. And Cara, I don't think he's going to be slowing down anytime soon.
No, nor do I, Travis, and you've taught me all about pinching the scaps. Thank you. Well, let's now check out the NCAA leaderboard presented by Peter Miller, and the Division I Women's Championships are underway at Rich Harvest Farms, where today the top 8 teams to advance to single elimination match play will be decided. They've struggled in incredibly different conditions all week so far, but Northwestern currently lead the way at 23 over par through 2 weather-shortened rounds. And the individual stroke play champion will also be crowned live on Golf Channel later today. Wake Forest's Jennifer Kupcho currently has a 1-stroke advantage over Purdue's August Kim. And we will be joined by our Golf Channel insider and a former 2-time team champion later in today's show as we look ahead to the live coverage. Yes, the excitement of college golf returns. The top individuals and teams battle for themselves and for their schools to be named the best in NCAA golf. Our coverage of the Women's Individual Championships begins today at 3 p.m. Eastern, with team championships tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll now send it back to Lauren Thompson.
Thank you so much, Cara. Winners on the way there, but still ahead. We have some winners already on the way, including someone who just flew away the 32-player field at the inaugural WinStar Midwest Slam, long driver Landon Gentry, and his winning moment, a whopping 403 yards. He's going to join us in the simulator, see if he can do it again live when the pressure's really on. Then we're going to get to some of the top moments you hopefully saw unfold in real time over the weekend at the AT&T Byron Nelson. If not, though, no worries. We're going to bring back the ones that we're deeming a must-see, and it's not just from the players in the field, so stick around for that. Great way to kick off your week. Plus, what a weekend win by Lexi Thompson. She came in hot, quite literally. Cara Robinson talked about that moments ago at the Kings Mill Championship. We're going to show you again what we mean. But also Ron Cyrak, a Golf Channel contributor. He's ready to break down the major inspiration she had moving into it all, as well as multiple other topics you should have in mind this week and in the coming weeks and months. Something else we need you to do in the coming minutes and over the next hour, we need you to send in your game balls. Now, there are some rules, but who do you think deserves a game ball from everything that unfolded over the weekend? Send us your picks, also the best stories. Those are going to air on Morning Drive today. But remember, no winners allowed. So get those stories going. Our Monday with You continues right after this.